Hey everybody, Bob Chick here for MD along with David Baye and of course, not quite the USA champ, but national champ, still good nonetheless, Shawn Ray, Hall of Famer of course. Guys, we are back here, Las Vegas once again for the USA Championships, the most prestigious amateur title in the universe.
Expected of you being a former USA champion, I'll let you have the night.
Hey, I appreciate that, Shawn. I appreciate that. David,
he's lying. You guys missed what just happened off camera 5 minutes ago. Sean's not letting Bob have anything.
No. Hey, listen, that's because we're both historians of the sport, and we were just talking about the USA Championships and its infancy, and we were pretty close, actually. 1982 starts it all with Dale Ruplinger.
We were both sophomores in high school. Go
Yes,
ahead.
And competing against each other, I might add. Still, even at that point. 82 Ruplinger, then it went to like Ernie Santiago. David Hawk was in there. J.J. Martin. I mean, you got some early names here. The interesting thing was that was not a pro qualifier back then.
No, it wasn't. And so, again, a guy like Phil Williams, who we mentioned back in 1985, won the overall national championships. He was the third overall national champion to win that show. Prior to that, he actually won the USAs, which I didn't know till you dropped that knowledge on me with his Wikipedia. But Phil, I believe, is one of the very few guys that have won the overall USAs and the overall nationals because the USAs was not a pro qualifier.
That's right. And, you know, I think the only other guy that you may actually throw into that thing was Jose Raymond, actually. Because I think, well, believe it or not, because he actually has won countless national and USA and Team Universe championships, but didn't turn pro at the time. It wasn't worth it to him until we came up with the 212 division.
Yeah, Jose's won every single pro qualifier ever. I think, in every class under light heavyweight. Jose's won them all. Don't even bother looking them up. No, we were, like I said, we were just going over the list. A lot of really good champions. You know, you guys remember it back a little bit further than I do, but starting, you know, with the late 80s and early 90s, you have guys like Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier, Dennis Newman, you know, Phil Hernan, Craig Titus. I mean, so a lot of really good champions coming out of this USA show.
Well, speaking of Titus, we're here in his home state, actually, right now. But
yeah, he's watching on the small screen in his cell. Oh, and we'll
cut her off.
All right, no more for you. But so the greatest USA champion, we might as well get that out of the way right now.
2000.
You're way off base with that. The greatest, you did turn into a world champion beyond the USA, so worldly you are a champion. But our 5-time reigning and defending,
that's right,
Mr. Olympia is. It's not even arguably is the best coming from that, just like Lee Haney is coming off the Nationals, along with Ronnie Coleman actually turned pro by winning the Universe, not the Nationals. But Phil Heath owns the claim of going on to becoming the greatest USA former champion. But right now, the question is, who's next in line? That's the million-dollar question. Who's coming up through the ranks that's going to walk off with this title this weekend?
Well, I think you may have saw who got next, weighing in earlier, because he weighed in at 272 pounds. And, David, you actually saw him go in there, witnessed it yourself. This is a guy that was on this stage last year at the Nationals. And we saw him in the prejudging. Top 5, but smooth. Comes back Saturday night, the best guy in the show. I mean, the entire show, bar none. I don't know what he does between A and B, but I tell you what, he was ripped up and shredded and probably 270-something still. Give me his name, and is he going to win this show, David?
Rashid Oldaker. You guys remember at Nationals, and there was a lot of people up in arms. Rashid came out on Friday, and I mean, the guy is massive. He's not missing anything. He's just, you know, he's just old school muscle. I think
very Victor Richterish, by the way.
I mean, you're talking a ton of muscle, but he was a little soft on Saturday. Like you had said, it was one of the biggest 24-hour turnarounds you're ever going to see. There was a ton of boos from the crowd because, I mean, had that thing been fully rejudged on Saturday, or had it just been a one-day thing and he showed up like that, he would have been the clear winner. We actually were talking about it on the last rep that we shot last night. If he shows up and he shows up in shape, he's going to walk away. Well, lo and behold, about a half hour ago, we're sitting here hanging out in the lobby doing some other interviews. He walks in the door. We're like, oh, okay, things just got interesting.
He was the door.
Yeah, and I, of course, the creep I am, followed him into weigh-ins. Got to see him peel down and weigh in. He weighed in at 274 pounds, 5'9". And just standing there, you know, obviously when guys hit their poses and stuff, a lot can happen as far as water manipulation and everything. But just standing there, he looks like he's in really good shape. You know, there's some good super heavyweights here. And I don't know. I never really feel bad for competitors at this level because it's like, you know, it's the USA's.
Welcome to the big time.
Yeah, but like he walked in and all of a sudden I just kind of felt bad for some of the guys that I know that are good guys doing the supers.
Let me interject real quick. He ended up taking, what, 5th, I think, at the Nationals?
He was 5th place.
5th place. Now, Shawn, we go way back, obviously, when it comes to judging and some of the changes that they've taken place over the years. The reason the plays came into a cascade of boos, and they were really booing that one bad, because this guy looked like he should have won the Olympia, let alone the national championships. When you're that far away, you're not going to catch up 5 spots at the night show. I don't care what you look like, because it would just negate the entire scoring process of the prejudging.
Well, we all know historically these contests are won and lost at the prejudging, which is why we have prejudging. That's where you're hitting your mandatories. That's where the judges are really taking a good, long, hard look at you. Now we have the confirmation round, but at the same time, if you're coming from the back of the pack,
right,
you might move up a little bit, but you're not going to make a big splash. I mean, the only other person that did that was this year, and that was Kai Green at the Arnold Classic. I had Cedric Millen winning after
they were
prejudging.
close. They're 1 and 2, and you can kind of go, this guy's in 5th place after prejudging. You ain't catching up 5 spots. You ain't going from, now, maybe you go 5th to 4th, maybe you can go 3rd to 1st, and it would have to be really tight between those 3. But I just want to explain that real quick for those who remember that from last year. Like I say, you're not leapfrogging. Like I say, it would completely just negate the reasoning for the prejudging scoring.
Right. And you know what? I'm glad that the judges didn't cave in to the phenomenal change overnight and over-reward, because that just negates what the winner actually had to go through in showing up on time at the prejudging, which is where it's, I believe, won and lost. But that being said, that may just have been enough motivation for him to actually improve and come back even more because of what's at stake. He was there sniffing, and after the show, all those things about the what ifs and could have done, maybe he corrected all that, and he comes out on stage and walks away with the prejudging and right into the victory circle.
Well, for our boys on MD, specifically Big Mike Cox out there, I know you got some spare time. Listen, get yourself a picture of Victor Richards from back in the day, put it next to this guy's picture, and I'm telling you, these 2 guys are cut from the same cloth, man. They're both big. He's not the widest guy I've seen. He's a little bit narrow, actually, to me, for his size. Well, let's not talk about his come on, David. Jesus, that's just in bad taste, man. Dense.
Okay.
Listen, let's stick to the physique here, okay? Does he have any competition? If that guy's in shape, can anybody beat him?
You. I'm just gonna flat out be like, nope. Nobody's gonna touch him.
He looked like pro material to me last year.
I mean, we are talking about what the known, but there's always like the unknown, right? There's always somebody else that can just walk in here and you go, holy crap. Right. I remember back in the days when I was a teenager, Jeff King went up against John Brown at the University. Like, where the hell did Jeff King come from? So I'm actually hoping that we find somebody that actually rival. No one wants to
eat the unknown buffet, I think, last night before he got here.
But he was the unknown at the Nationals a year ago, and now we know we see him on the radar. But this contest is still up for grabs right now. That's the one we know about. But until these weigh-ins are complete, we don't know what's going to show up tomorrow.
And listen, I hate to, and I don't wish him any bad, of course, because I think the guy's a tremendous talent. He's got to come in shape. I mean, this work isn't done. He looked great here, but everybody looks good at weighing in. A lot can happen between now and tomorrow. These guys are on stage, I think, at 12 noon tomorrow. Right. By the time he gets on stage, it's going to be
on probably around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, probably closer to 12 or 1 by the time they get through all the classes. So anything can happen. Any other names sticking out to you? Well, let's get into the heavyweights, the light heavies, David, the cream of the crop.
Yeah, there's definitely some good competitors here. A couple other super heavyweights. We have John Ward. He's been a top 3-5 guy the last couple years. We have our junior national or junior USA's champion from last year, Brent Swanson. Dorian Haywood, I believe, is moving into supers or junior champion, junior nationals champion from 2 years ago. Jonathan Irizarry, last year's 3rd place finisher at nationals. There's some good names in the heavyweight. We have Phil Visacaro. We have John Jewett. This is going to be a big name. John showed up as one of probably the most shredded guy in the show last year as a middleweight. He's a heavyweight this year. He's put on about 40 pounds of stage.
Wait a minute. He went from middleweight to heavyweight? So he skips the light heavies.
He must be tall.
And he's good.
He's not very tall, but his conditioning was phenomenal last year, so he's going to be good. In the light heavyweights, we have Turner Riddle, a guy who's placed top 5 at national level shows. Dallas McCarver's coach Matt Jansen just won the Flex Lewis Classic.
He looked good there
overall, yeah. So he decided to jump in. So there's definitely going to be some good names here. We talk about the USAs, and sometimes you don't have all these big names jumping out. But the last couple of years have been really good here in Las Vegas. We know of some good talent, and like Shawn said, there's always a lot of unknowns at these shows. You get guys who have been competing at a local level, they've taken a break for a few years from the national level show, you kind of forget about them. So look for it to be a very competitive show tomorrow, as always.
What's on tap in terms of the prejudging for tomorrow?
Prejudging, they've got a couple of girls' classes are first, I believe, and then the men's bodybuilding takes place at 12 noon.
Right.
So from that, earlier than back in the day, because I don't remember being on stage until like closer to nighttime.
Right.
But you know what? Listen, careers can be made and lost on this USA stage, like you mentioned, Phil Heath. I just talked to Phil the other day. Actually, I wanted to see if he was coming. He says, I've shut it down. The next time you see me, we'll be in Vegas, but it'll be on the Olympia stage. So Phil will not be making an appearance here to do any hand waving. This guy's all business right now.
Really should be.
Well, and I told him, I says, you better have your eye on the prize and you better come in right. Lavroni is watching you, brother.
Yeah, and you know, this is one of those shows that our next future Mr. Olympia can come from. So in 24 short hours, we're going to get a nice little sneak peek, and then we're going to come back here, do the finals and our wrap-up. Again, a whole lot of stuff going on. Almost 700 athletes, I believe, is going to be here this weekend, and you're going to get us through that. And follow us on musculardevelopment.com.
Well, big hats off to the captain, John Lindsay, and, of course, Tamer El-Gindi, the commissioner, the commish. No, we can't use that one.
No, please don't.
Actually,
I like executive. I like Tamer a lot.
Tamer's a good guy. He's put in as co-chairman or chairman now. But hats off to these guys for running a great show. We'll have full coverage all day tomorrow and, of course, all day Saturday. Keep your eyes peeled right here, guys. We'll be all over the board. You got questions, bring them for all of us. For Sugar Shawn, for Big Dave, this is Bob Chick. We're out.